State Institutions and Property Committee will come to order. And we have an agenda today. We'll get started because everybody's rushing. I know everybody has something to do, and I want to make sure we move in a timely manner to handle your important pieces of legislation. We do have a quorum today. With us is three. Chairman Tillery is not with us yet, but we'll proceed in a way, and we're missing another member, and Senator Harrell. But let's go ahead and get underway with Representative Buckner. That is House Bill 254. You come up and give us your presentation.
This chair really does roll. Good afternoon, and thank you for hearing House Bill 254. In 2026, the United States will celebrate its 250th birthday, and we were one of the original 13 colonies. And there is a group called the America 250 Commemoration Commission, and they have donated a bronze marker that is just a sign, like you see those historic markers that are placed around about, that they would like to place on our Capitol grounds like they are doing at the Capitol grounds of the other 13 colonies. The marker just commemorates the people who fought for our freedom from Great Britain, and commemorates the fact that it's 250th birthday of America. There's no charge to the state. We just have to get permission from the legislature so we can go to the Capitol Arts Commission to get permission to put it on the Capitol and to have them tell us where it can be put on the Capitol grounds. They've also authorized one to go at the state archives, and that would have to get permission through the Board of Regents. They have all of the expenses on them. It passed the House 166-0, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have about it. They're anxious to kick off the celebration for America 250 with the unveiling of this, hopefully in January next year.
Well, thank you, Representative Buckner. Any questions from members of the committee? No questions. Tell me that there's clarification. There's no cost to it.
Correct.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
No
question. There's no cost to us, the
Correct.
state. It's all private, and everything is cool. And it's been done across the 13 colonies, or what? Okay.
That's correct.
All right. What's the pleasure of if I can talk today? What's the pleasure of the committee?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve this House Bill 254.
All right. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right, Representative
Thank
Buckner,
you
you good to
very
go.
much.
You can tell your daughter I did a magnificent job.
I will tell her that, and she will be most grateful. It's
That's
been
wonderful.
a minute. Do I need a form to?
We
Take it
don't
to
we don't
rules.
do that in the
Oh,
Senate.
aren't y'all nice?
But who are you going to sponsor your bill in the House?
Senator Max Burns is
Max.
asked to
That's
carry
bad.
it. He carried the one about the tag and the education piece last.
That's bad. He's a congressman. That's bad. Thank you. We got that down. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Right. Next up, we have Representative Camp, 135th. You come up, share with us.
Thank you. Thank you for the warning. Thank you, Senator, and thank you so much, committee, for hearing this today.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Please go ahead. I'm trying to make sure I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
It's
There you go.
House Bill. It's HR House Resolution 121. It's LC 600100S. Is in Sam, and this is naming the Georgia Forestry Commission building, which at this time does not named by anyone, to the John W. Mixon Forestry Commission building. Mr. Mixon was a longtime commissioner of the Georgia Forestry Commission. He was commissioner from, I believe, 1983 to 1995, and he's still very active. He's an older gentleman, yes. He's still very active in forestry and conservation in our state. I had a great conversation with Commissioner Sabo, who is currently the commissioner of Georgia Forestry, and he was fully for this, and it passed the House 163-0, so there was no opposition.
And this is just enabling. It's no cash from the state, no money. It's all private. And it's, okay. All right. Any questions or comments from members of the committee? If not, what's the pleasure of the committee? Senator Kemp, excuse me. Would you put your? Yes, Senator Kemp.
There we go. I'd like to make a motion that we do pass H.R. 303 LC 60. Am I reading the right one? Am I 121? I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one.
All right.
H.R. 121 LC 600100S.
Do I hear a second to that?
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Any other conversation or comments? If not, what is the pleasure?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nobody's voting against. No? Well, all three of us voted in favor.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you. Senator Eccles will be carrying this bill.
Who will?
Senator Eccles, Drew Eccles.
Senator Ackles.
Oh, goodness, not Eccles. I said the wrong person. That's the Public Service Commission.
No, that's right.
That's
Is
a
that
Senator
correct?
Eckles.
Okay.
That's
See,
excuse
it's
me.
been such a long day, Senator. I'm all confused.
There's
now.
a Senator
Yes.
Eckles. Yeah.
Yes, Senator Eccles is going to be carrying this.
You
Thank
sure?
you.
He's the sharpest dress in the Senate, so it might pass.
You know, I saw that in the paper. Very impressive
Thank
stuff.
you very
Thank
kindly.
you for your time.
Appreciate it. Next up, we have former GLBC chair up with a bill that we can peruse right now. Thank you, Representative Camp. Appreciate you. All right, leader, how you doing today, Representative Gilliard?
Mr. Chairman, I'm doing better than I thought.
No, you hanging tough, man.
I appreciate you and the distinguished members of this great committee. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, thank you for allowing this bill to be in your presence. In 1868, there were 33 courageous Americans who decided to run for office. They won in the House and the Senate. 25 of them were AME pastors, ministers of the gospel. 14 of them were unfortunately lynched. They were called the original 33. I say they're great Americans. This is a simple, powerful tribute to 33 Americans that we're asking that we construct a memorial in the names of a template. We're not talking about a high hydraulic memorial. We're talking about 33 names to be placed in the Georgia State Capitol. It is a very simple tribute to 33 great Americans. It passed in the House 2 years ago, 2.5 or 3 years ago. It passed in the Senate unanimously, and Senator Anderson carried it. There were several signatures on both sides. And so we're just asking that we move this forward because it is long overdue.
Okay.
So I thank you for your consideration on House Bill 303 and would entertain any questions.
Yeah, and let me say at the onset, thank you very much for your service to the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus. We appreciate your sacrifice and the work you did to advance the cause of minority members of this great state of Georgia. We appreciate that. Let me ask you a question regarding the 33 again. You are aware that there's some tributes outside on the lawn, and what have you experienced with that? Any comments about that? What's your take on that?
I think it's a good start. You know, the difference is there is a template, which is the marquee, that has the names on it, and then there is
just the names
Yeah,
of
and
those,
then-
like Henry Turner.
That's right.
I think I'm right about that.
Tunis
McNeil
Campbell.
Turner.
Yeah,
right,
and
right.
Henry McNeil Turner, the first actual pastor of First African
That's
Baptist
right,
Church.
that's right.
Tunis Campbell Sr. and Tunis Campbell Jr. just to name a few. But those names are a small reflective part. If you look at the statute, which was meant very well at the time, the statute really doesn't reflect the original 33. They're men and women. It's a very detailed structure that's kind of, you have to get into looking at it too. And on the inscription it says they were expelled because of the color of their skin. What we're saying is, let's just make it very plain. The Bible says write the vision and make it plain. And so we're talking about 33 names. And what's so powerful about this to the members, it's reflective of so many areas across the state of Georgia, and just not, it's all over. So those 33 names will be on a template in the Georgia State Capitol, and they would reflect all those areas.
And let me ask some questions before I open up for more questions, and that is, I'm curious to make sure that you sort of research the code section in there to make sure no mischief come about and people can get it and start playing with it, which they can, or just gut it all together. Have you sort of talked with people to make sure that they are sort of on board with it and they're willing to, work with you on it and that kind of action?
I've never saw such an harmonious connector of people wanting to salute 33 Americans. When we passed it in the House at the pinnacle moment, everybody passed it unanimously because they knew the nature of these. These were Americans. Okay. They were African American Republicans, but they were Americans. So in reference to the structure of how we're structuring it as a monument, we haven't gotten any feedback on the negative because it's so simplistic just to have a template. When we did state properties before, we made sure that we talked about that emphatically, and there was no kickback of response on anything that was negative.
And who are you going to have to meet with the decorum committee? Have you met with them or discussed anything with them?
There's some great members that are here and prior, from Calvin Smari to others, that we're looking at. I've never been able to put the cart before the horse, but my vision of it is to have those that are here and those that have been here, because the significance.
Do you know the members of that committee?
Not as of yet.
You're not met them. You tried step by step. I get it.
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right. Members of the committee, comments?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Representative Gilliard, the statue, one will be on the inside, the monument on the inside. Would the other one still be outside?
That is
I just
correct.
want to make sure.
That is correct.
That will be outside, and then we will have the monument on the inside. So
That
make
is
sure,
correct.
because more people will come on the inside to see that. That's wonderful.
And I'm glad
Thank you for bringing that.
And thank you. I'm glad you for pointing that out. Every time I think I'm all that in a bag of chips, I go up to the 4th floor, and there's a picture of Julian Bond sitting like this, and he could not take the oath of office. When I bring people to the Capitol, there is no Capitol tour of history in that respect, and so this would be a very strong gesture to all children to look at these names and know the significance of these Americans.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. And in it, yes.
Yeah.
Senator Kemp. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You have more.
Okay.
Okay.
Senator Kemp.
This may have been one of those poison pills that wouldn't go very far. You said 14 of them were lynched.
Yes.
I'm assuming it's not going to make any reference to that.
Well, it's just a part of the story. I think,
So it will?
It's a very powerful story.
Yeah.
The original 33.
Yeah.
When that happened, there was also a march from Albany to Camilla, and there was a Camilla massacre. So it's a lot of American history that has not been told.
Yeah.
But I think the resilience of these Americans that still wanted to serve, they were determined to serve their country. So I think that's the main story that we're trying to tell.
Got it. Okay. Thanks.
Any other comments, statements? And I appreciate you bringing this forth, and I wish you well with it. It's just this time of year, it's just get really tough, and hopefully you make it through that maze of opposition. In opposition, mostly it's time now, right? You know
Yes.
that, right? So I don't think, like you said, I think it may be smooth sailing otherwise. But I would also look into those. You have some comments? I also would look into those. I don't know why. He doesn't need it. He's cooking. He's cooking.
For him and for the
Right.
matter, 33,
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to be present.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. And I was just looking into that decorum committee because you might be surprised who the people are on there. Okay.
Well, I will say this, Mr. Chairman. When we got it passed in the House, the enormous emotional response between everyone, and there were several key leaders from the Republicans to Democrats that says, I want to be involved.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. What's the pleasure of the committee?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead.
I move that we approve House Bill 303. I guess I need to see the LC 600065.
Yes.
Pass it out of the committee.
Moved and properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. It's gone.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Senators.
Good luck
for your
to
support.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that.
Yes. That's good.
Any other business to come before the committee? If not, we stand adjourned. Thank you, Miss Cindy.